So, but again, thank you very much for joining us such a last minute. Because I didn't find out till like 30 minutes ago that Jack couldn't join us because he wasn't quite sure himself.
I'm avoiding homework at the moment, so
perfect. we only talk for about an hour, so it's no big deal.
I wasn't going to do it tonight. It's a 10-page paper. It's due Friday, so it's fine.
Oh, plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
I always wait until the last day to do my papers.
So you're watching His Dark Materials. I don't think any of us have talked about that on this show.
That's true.
You could give us a 15-minute report or so.
Yeah.
Have y'all watched
it now when you're queued?
I have. I've watched the first season. I've been watching the second season as well.
Yeah.
I haven't started the second season yet. I was catching up again on the first one. But have y'all watched Jingle Jangle yet on Netflix?
Yes, we talked about it last week or last episode.
I'm behind on my podcast.
No worries.
It's so good.
It is. It is very good.
I got to watch it again.
It is everything that I want from steampunk. It is just, I watched it this weekend and I need to watch it 12 more times.
Right? It's the season. Yeah, we talked about it all. That was the entire conversation last podcast was Jingle Jangle.
Yeah.
Because normally, have you been listening before? Have you listened to any of us before?
Yes, I listened.
Okay. So we try to introduce at least one new steampunk thing a person each every week, and I got things. Zach said he has something, and
I'm a few episodes behind. Like I said, I don't have time because I don't have time to listen to podcasts right now. So
because you're studying a lot. You're studying a lot. I know worries. Okay, well it's 8:00. We're gonna start talking. Hello once again. You have found the Texas Steampunk Connection. We're coming to you from our various steampunk bunkers and airships. In case you hadn't noticed, we do not have Jack with us today. Instead, we have Agent Blue Stocking, who graciously decided to fill in today because Jack was unable to. In case you don't remember, Blue Stocking has been on the podcast once before, a few years ago, 2-3 years ago, I forget.
Years, it's been a while. The last time we were able to go to Steampunk November together.
Yes, well, actually, we did it. It was in not Kerrville. Was it Kerrville?
Kerrville, yeah.
The
one and only time they did a steampunk festival.
Right. It was a dedicated steampunk festival, and the year after that, it was a combination steampunk Renaissance festival. Yeah, we went, and it was a little bit bigger. They did not have the inside for that one. It was all outside.
Was it cold?
Not a lot.
No, it was pleasant.
The
weather was good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yes, and it seemed a little smaller, but just more spread out because it was more in the park.
Yeah.
But that was then, and so yes, Agent Blue Stocking, and of course I am Flavio. Hey Ryan, and joining and with me always is Sax at this side. And for those of you who are not watching live or watching the video later on and just listening to the actual audio feed, I am of course the manliest man ever who's ever manned in the whole world of man, and Sax is the most dapper.
Absolutely.
Is that what we are now?
Yes.
I wasn't warned.
Well, you didn't know you're the most dapper?
We know you from a previous podcast that you had been running until you went back to school. But that's still available for people to listen to, right?
Steampunk Dollhouse? Oh, yeah. The feed is still live. Everything is still active. It's just kind of on hiatus. I will be back to it eventually. It's just being middle-aged and in college is,
I don't know anything about being middle-aged. I'm completely over the hill personally.
Oh no.
So yes, once again, this is Agent Blue Stocking joining us from the Steampunk Dollhouse podcast. She runs down steampunk books. She talks about steampunk books and their meaning and their how would you explain how do you explain it?
I decided to find steampunk. I wanted to focus on steampunk books that were outside of the usual Victorian tropes. I wanted to focus on steampunk books that took place in other countries, other ideas, other world-built systems, because it's not just Western nations that could industrialize. Correct. So I wanted to focus on books that had different ideas, that had more protagonists of color, had just the word diverse gets used a lot, and I think sometimes too much, but I wanted to focus on a more diverse steampunk idea. So that was what the podcast is. It's not a review of books. It's a critical analysis of certain.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, I was looking for that critical analysis. That's what I was trying to think of.
So that's what it is. It was and is, and I'm still around. I don't have time to, because I did it all by myself. I don't have time to do it anymore, but it will be back someday.
Awesome.
It's still waiting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the steampunk podcasts are starting to fade away. The Darlene DJ duo from the Clockwork Cabaret, they're still around. However, they had to change up their format because there's something about the music rights got mixed up in there.
After 10 years, they got,
I know, right?
Dinged. It's
crazy.
Yeah, and they were never told what songs it was, so they just had to pull everything down because they don't know what. It was. Yep. It sucked. Yeah.
So I mean, they still do the DJ. They do their podcast. They talk to each other, and they're really fun to listen to. With their little jokes, and they're fun. But they also the music that they are putting out is available on another stream somewhere. I'm not sure. I don't remember where it is at the moment, but
it's a separate stream. It's in the show notes. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're not completely gone.
No.
And then there was Story Punks. Was that the other one?
Cindy Grigg and Story Punks. Yeah, that I actually guested on. She interviewed me on an episode. I haven't seen her. She updated with an interview by Diana Foe this summer, and she hasn't. But she's also an author. Okay. So she's busy. Yeah, she's an author. She's busy doing that too. But yeah, some of us Copperheart Michael Rigg. With the Steamrollers podcast.
Yep. He's I have not actually listened to Steamroller, but he's got the Copperheart audio broadcast. That's really good. That is really good.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite getting the steampunk connection until toward the end there. But it's there. It's still there. It's called Copperheart for a reason.
Yeah. We tried, but it's just pod fade happens sometimes.
Exactly, like I said, and yeah, we ourselves took a break for about a year, kind of unintentionally, but it just kind of it faded. And then, like I told before, I told a story before. I got charged for another year of service on Podbean. Because I thought I
had to keep going.
So I was like, "Oh, I paid for it. I got to use it." So, so here I am.
I'm glad you guys are still going, though. I mean, we need the steampunk podcasts.
Exactly.
Even if we can't connect right now.
Especially because we can't connect right now.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, and we digress, but that's okay. That we're all good here. We usually start off by talking what we're drinking. I thought this was a new drink for me, but according to my Untapped, this is my second time I've had this beer. I don't remember it. Must have been a long time ago. It's called Big Spoon Thresh Leche Stout.
Oh.
It's from a Brazos Valley Brewing Company in Brenham, Texas. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty nice and smooth. Yeah, and dark like I like them.
There you go.
Is it like a milk stout or something?
Yeah, thresh leche means 3 milks. Yeah.
Well, I know what that means, but saying that it's a milk stout means something specific.
This is true, but yes, it is, and it's actually really good, nice and smooth. I love it.
I don't do the stouts.
You don't do the stouts? I love the stouts.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what are you drinking? Who's talking?
I am drinking Apothic Dark Crush. Apothic Red is one of my favorite wines, and Dark Crush is the darker. That's usually a red blend, and the Dark Crush is the darkest of their. I mean, it's cheap. It's like $10 a bottle, but
hey, no, but wrong with that.
Apothic makes really good wine. They make really good wine.
Today, I was recommending Apothic's bourbon barrel aged. I forget what they're called. Inferno, I think.
Yes, Inferno is really good.
And it's got the sweetness from the bourbon barrel and the rich oaky flavor of the red. And so I recommended that just today to a coworker.
Yeah, it's really good. It's one of my favorites.
Awesome. How about you, Thax? What are you drinking?
Well, it's funny. In that conversation today, with recommendations, another coworker told me about Full Grown Nick from Tup's Brewery, which is a imperial stout.
Ooh, an imperial stout. Okay.
Brewed with spices, so I'm guessing some Christmas cinnamon and clove and
pumpkin
ginger.
Spice.
I don't know. Open it up.
It's basic beer.
And see what we've got.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Oh, is it their first time trying it? Oh, that's a nice
you
color.
haven't tried it yet?
No, have never tried it. It is dark.
That is, yeah, I can see. I like that.
Oh, I think this is going to
do a spit take on camera.
And even the foam is dark.
Yeah, I really get ginger flavor, a little cinnamon. This is very nice, very nice. It's a not everyday kind of beer. I think it was $13 for a 4-pack.
Wow. Okay.
Not what I usually go for because I'm cheap, but I had to check it out.
Yes, it's also time for it's also very with Santa Claus on there. It's of the right season to be
right. That's why I needed to pick it up today. Full Grown Nick. Tup's Brewery is out of north of Dallas, Arlington.
Okay, apparently Rita knows about it. She says lots of cinnamon.
Yeah. And they've also got a pumpkin beer, full grown something else.
I need to find that one. I think I had that one before, like Full Grown Jack or something like that.
Yes,
anyway.
That's exactly right.
I had that one a few weeks ago or a few podcasts ago. Yeah.
And good choice.
Yes.
It was good. Both there at HEB, pretty much every HEB in town. If you go to Tup's Brewery website, you can see where all of their selections are sold in your local, wherever you live, your local grocery or liquor store or whatever. Yep. This is nice.
Yep, Rita. Yes, I did have something similar. I just mentioned it. It was like Full Grown Jack, I believe it was called. Of course, I think that might have been one I forgot to put into my Untapped. Somebody else wants to join us. Hello, Kitty.
He likes to. Yeah, he's been Zoom bombing my classes. Yeah.
No worries. I have, oddly enough, whenever I'm sitting on my table with my computer, when I'm sitting in my other chair with the computer, my cats get in front of me all the time and crisscross. But when I'm sitting here, they don't jump up here. I don't know why. I've never discouraged them. They just don't bother me when I'm sitting on this chair.
They respect the desk.
I guess so. Right now they're busy chasing each other around the living room. So
now Gigi likes to be on camera. He wants everyone to see how handsome he is, and then he leaves.
Of course, that's very cat-like. It's like I got a new mic. I don't know how sensitive it is, so if you hear any weird noises, that might be it going on. The cat's in the background or whatnot, or my roommate upstairs. But yeah, I mean, I just felt like, because I don't know, I just felt like having to get a new mic because I'm also doing some more recording, and this is easier to plug directly into the computer as opposed to the mixer that I usually use if it's just me. So, not that anybody really noticed or asked. Just saying.
Hey, equipment matters.
Just killing time. Oh wow, it's been such a long time since we've talked. We were at, like I said, we were at that one convention. We were live. Well, we recorded live. We weren't live like this.
And the tubas were playing in the background.
Tubas were playing in the background. We had a back alley Santa walking around.
It was scaring my daughter.
It may not have been the same guy, but it could have been.
There was a back alley Santa that was creeping my daughter out. Yes, he just kept lurking. And the knife guy.
The knife guy. I don't. Oh yeah.
Or the leather. Not the knife guy. The leather guy that kept trying to sell my daughter stuff.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, because we saw him again at Steampunk November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's a steampunk vendor.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. The mic sounds great, apparently. Now my cat wants to have some of my beer. No. But yeah, it's like, well, I mean, I don't know if for you new listeners, there's this little story behind back alley Santa. When Thax, Erica, and I went to Dickens on Main.
Right.
I forget what little town it was in.
That was in Bernie, Texas.
Bernie, Texas. Yes.
And they have a big Christmas festival right down Main Street. It's on Main.
And it was fun.
Yeah, it was really good. I highly recommend it, except this year where they didn't have it because nobody gets to have anything. Wear your masks, please.
Yes.
At one end of Maine, there's Santa Claus in his
the official Santa Claus for the event.
Yeah, and there's a line 2 blocks long waiting to get to pictures with Santa.
Reindeer or deer, anyway.
Yeah. Live deer. And we thought that's interesting, but we didn't really need pictures with Santa, so we kept going and went to the little shops and bought some beers and stuff. Way at the end of the festival, the other end of Maine, which is near the city square, there's this sign,
handwritten,
hand-painted sign, meet Santa with an arrow pointing up toward.
Sounds legit.
To the stairway in the alley.
Stairs up the side of a building in an alley into some random ass house or apartment or something. I don't know.
And you went?
No, we should have. Hindsight says we should have just for the sake of the story, but we didn't. And we said next time if we see it, we will go, but we have not been back there since. So
yeah,
we skipped the years afterwards.
We started really the idea of what it could be is probably more interesting than what it was.
This is true.
Thinking about what is back alley Santa, and what kind of presents does he give?
Yeah.
And does he really want you to sit in his lap, and why?
Just back away from that.
Exactly. And so that Santa Claus that was walking around that Renaissance, the steampunk fair that we went to in Kerrville, he didn't look like the fat jolly Santa that you used to see. He looked kind of, I don't know, sketchy wasn't the right word, but he wasn't like, full grown, hey, that's Santa.
He was hard knock Santa.
Exactly. So I figured that it could be back alley Santa.
He was Santa's had some hard times.
Exactly.
Haven't we all?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's been that kind of year, I tell you.
Seriously.
Right. But unfortunately this year he doesn't get it. We don't no Maine. No Dickens on Maine, no Dickens on the Strand.
No Steampunk November.
No Steampunk November.
On OnlyFans.com.
That is not right.
Oh, okay. So, I love it when we go off the rails like this. Okay, not that I have a set plan or idea what we're talking about. We're just talking, and we're talking steampunk related stuff because that was steampunk events that we went to.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
It's the season.
So I guess I'll start with the homework for now, just in case. I have 3 possibilities here. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. First off, well, you're the Blue Stocking, you're the expert on steampunk. You're studying it.
Temper expectations.
I know. But okay, so there's always been, the Cthulhu stuff. Cthulhu Mythos with Cthulhu because the big octopus tentacles and whatnot. That's always apparently been pulled into steampunk, correct? And even though the time is off, because it's like more in the 1920s or 30s kind of when that's kind of happening. Is that right? Or
actually but if you look back further, Lovecraft's ideas, he created a great mythos, but it wasn't necessarily all him. There were authors before him, and the name is escaping me right now, but the author that created The King in Yellow with which I did a thing about it on my show, and I can't remember his name now, but the man who created The King in Yellow, that was the late 19th century.
Okay.
And
Robert W. Chambers?
Yes. That is where the whole idea of Carcosa came from, the city of Carcosa. And so Lovecraft is the problem. But he didn't come up with everything on his own. He took from earlier authors, including Chambers. The King in Yellow is the whole thing. It's a really crazy book. It's supposed to make people crazy. Was the whole concept. If you've seen the first season of True Detective,
I never saw that one, unfortunately.
It's based on Chambers' King in Yellow and the city of Carcosa. So that's where Lovecraft got some of his work from.
Yeah, I heard good things about that first season. I saw the second season and it was all right.
The first season is phenomenal. So yeah, I mean, but Lovecraft stuff does get drawn in just because, just like people like zombies, people like, you know, the Cthulhu mythos, because it's a really cool mythos. You know, extracting Lovecraft and his problematic racist issues from it. It's just a cool mythology, you know.
True.
So yeah, it does get wrapped up. And also, I mean, if you look at Dieselpunk, if you swim from steampunk to Dieselpunk, it does work.
Okay. Yeah, I'm cool with Dieselpunk. I mean, I don't mind the crossovers.
It all kind of flows into each other.
Exactly. And so we can say that the Cthulhu's Mythos falls into steampunk. Is that your dog, Fax?
It is. I'm sorry.
No worries. Or, you know, it's like, sorry, that was my stomach rumbling there. Okay, so also apparently pirates are very drawn into steampunk as well, even though they're not the right century as well. You know, aren't they? They're later, like in this, aren't they? General pirates in general. You know,
I mean, if you're talking like late 8th or late. As Cthulhu rises. I mean,
sorry.
The majority of the pirating that you're going to see, is prior to the 19th century. And this is not an area where I am an expert. I'm English and library science, not history.
No worries. I'm just saying, you know.
But no, I mean, there were pirates in the 19th century, and I mean, airship pirates.
Right, we do a lot of airship pirates.
Yeah, I mean, you can find examples of pirates anywhere. I mean, the pirates still exist. We have pirates in the waters all over.
Yeah. Like people go to the Ren Fair dressed as pirates, and that's not quite accurate either, you know. So.
You know, it all becomes kind of fluid, and that's okay. You know, I guess it depends on how much of a purist you are.
Yeah, I'm not. I was just curious. I'm trying to draw the conversation out, you know. Also, I also have a third option. For me, since we live in Texas, so and we're we're the Western, you know, so the Weird West is basically folded into steampunk as well. You know, like, you know, the Wild Wild West movie with a giant spider, mechanical spider. You know, no matter what people think about how that movie is good or bad or whatever, that was steampunk. It's
still a good representation of steampunk,
right? Especially with the man in the wheelchair that's, you know, with the steam pack, you know, chugging along with the steam behind him. You know, that's definitely steampunk. That couldn't be more steampunk. You know.
That movie had me when Will Smith played that lady's boobies like bongos. I'm in. I'm all in.
Oh yes, high art there.
Class, but it's a good representation when people ask what steampunk is, and you want to give them an idea.
Yeah, the whole mechanical spider and the wheelchair, you know, and you know all that kind of stuff.
It's there.
But sometimes, like, the Weird West can also, a lot of people throw in like post-apocalyptic stuff and throw steampunk on top of that, or the feel or Weird West on top of that.
Yeah,
you know, which is fine. You know, it's like that. What was that movie? What was that movie? Mortal Engines. That was post-apocalyptic for the most part.
I liked it. I'm like the only person I know that liked that movie. I liked the books.
I read the first book. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked the movie. I mean, it wasn't perfect, and that had some issues with it, but no, I went and saw it in the theater. There was 3 of us, me, my husband, and my daughter.
Do you classify that as steampunk or a steampunk
absolutely
type? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Because steampunk doesn't have to, and that's my whole point. Steampunk doesn't have to be set in the 19th century,
right? Because
if it's depending on the world or the world building that's being done, because all we knew is, with Mortal Engines, all we knew is that some catastrophic thing happened to a planet that might be Earth.
Right.
So steampunk can be written in worlds that are not Earth. And so in that case, you know, like China Mieville's Perdido Street Station, that's a world that is not Earth. It is totally steampunk. So it's just, you know, or Karen Lawatchi's Gaslight Dogs, that is not our Earth. But that is steampunk. So it's just it's just a matter of expanding what you consider steampunk. If you're locked into the 19th century, then you're gonna have a problem. But
makes sense. Yeah, I totally agree.
Out there.
I totally agree. And like I said, I like the Weird West part mostly because I'm in Texas here. And like that one time we went to Tax Eric and I went to Vegas for that one steampunk convention. That was an awesome convention. The only problem I had with it, and it wasn't really a major problem, it was just a bug in the back of my head saying they're pretending like they're in England, and Mrs. Lincoln was visiting them. You know, it's like, why couldn't it have been the other way around? We're actually being here and have, you know, the Queen of England visiting us.
Exactly.
You know, that was the only small little thing in the back of my head. Is like, why do we have it that way? You know, it's like, but other than that, it was a great convention. Sadly, it only happened once.
Well, that seems to be happening a lot lately. But people get locked into the idea of 19th century Victorian England, and it's not like that. I mean, Sarah Gailey's Upright Women Wanted is about librarians in a Weird West.
Nice.
Queer librarians in a Weird West, and it is so good. So awesome. There is a lot available if you want diverse steampunk. It's not goggles and top hats in Victorian London. I have no problem with goggles and top hats. You gentlemen look fabulous. It's just there's a lot more out there to look for. I
mean, feel free to drop any links you want about any books you recommend onto our Facebook page. You know, it's like just every once in a while.
Anymore.
Oh, that's right, you don't. Okay, well then, I would say tweet it to me, but I don't understand Twitter. So
we are going to need to sit down and have a Zoom meeting about Twitter so that I can explain to you how it works.
It doesn't work for me. As I said many times before, I don't know. So that's where I send the critics to talk to us.
The three of us will have a conversation privately, and we will learn how to effectively use Twitter for our podcast.
Okay. Okay. So that leaves me. Okay. So I'm going to, I have three choices that I was going to do for my homework, but I'm going to go ahead and choose this one because actually there's a time limit on this one. It's a Kickstarter and there's only 7 days left. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share the screen here real quick. Give me a few seconds here. Share. No, wait. There you go. Share. I'm still learning this stuff too. Okay, here we go. Do you see that? Can you see that, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Few and the Curse. Crows of Mana Alana trade paperback. Post-apocalyptic Western. The Mysterious Redhead Gunslinger. This is a trade collecting all 6 issues. I don't remember the 6 issues that's an acclaimed series. It might have been here on Kickstarter and I missed it. But it's really cool. I don't know if I can play the video or not. If that's, you know, maybe we get dinged or something. But I'll play. It's only. Oops, that's kind of loud.
I can't.
Yeah, we're not hearing it.
Yeah, we're not hearing anything.
Okay, hold on. Not hearing it. All right. Let me probably need to share the audio probably. Oops, I removed it.
And there it goes.
Stream. I lost it. I lost it
years ago.
Seriously.
All right, let me try this again. Share screen. Share audio. There's a button for that. How about that? All right, can you see it now?
I can see it, but...
All right, I haven't played it yet. Here it goes. Can you hear it?
Yep.
You're
awesome.
Good.
I'm Felipe Canho, and I'm the co-creator of the Few and Cursed series with Fabiano Neves. And this Kickstarter is truly a celebration of everything we've done together for the past 5 years. We've put out 6 issues so far. We've also done a couple of extra books as well, like the Chronicles of the Few and Cursed and the yet-to-be-released The Few and Cursed Shadow Nation. We've done collectible cards, as you can see here. We've done a board game with Rock Manor Games. We've done aluminum cards. And my personal favorite, we've put out 3 coins as well. So this Kickstarter is truly a celebration of the past 5 years of the Few and Cursed. We've collected for 6 issues, the Crows of Mana Alana saga, into one collected edition. And you have it available in 2 formats, hardcover and softcover. The Few and Cursed is a supernatural post-apocalyptic Western. The world has dried up in a mysterious occurrence about 7 years ago, and mankind learned to survive with very little water. And in fact, water is so rare and scarce that it's actually used as the currency of this world. Now, alongside this pretty tragic event that, changed the landscape of the entire world. Some curses and dark arts and other things started popping up. Our protagonist of the series is the Redhead. She's a mysterious curse chaser that goes from town to town, hunting down monsters, hunting down curses, and put an end to them. I really hope you get a kick out of the animated trailer we have prepared for you guys. If this is something, that appeals to you, make sure to pledge to support this project. We're really happy with everything that we've done so far. Fabian and I, we really feel that this is our biggest Kickstarter yet. But it can only be the biggest if we have your support. So thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the trailer.
You don't know me. Where I come from, who I am. You don't know my name. And you don't need to. All you need to know is I'm a curse chaser. And a damn fine one. My world is a desert as far as the eye can see. And water is so scarce, we use it as currency. Survival ain't easy. And a lot of folks have no trouble embracing evil to get ahead in their lives. That doesn't sit well with me. The crows of Mana Olana are murdering beasts that kidnap children in the dead of night. And the greatest challenge I've ever faced in a long career as a curse chaser. The time has finally come for you to know the whole story behind the crows of Mana Olana. The few and cursed crows of Mana Olana. Over 200 beautifully illustrated pages in 2 gorgeous editions, exclusively on Kickstarter.
Yeah, doesn't that look good?
That looks cool.
I am planning to kickstart it. If it hits all my buttons, Weird West, post-apocalyptics, Redhead, all of it.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks really cool.
There's only 7 days left in the Kickstarter, so I figured I'd go ahead and share that one now. Because the other 2 can wait. Although, like I said, the other 2, there was one of them was involving pirates, the other was involving Cthulhu. So that's why I was asking about those.
Cthulhu always fits.
Mm-hmm. That's good to know. And so pirates, maybe Cthulhu for sure. Okay. Note for next podcast.
I have said it is so.
Yes, the expert, our steampunk expert. Soon to be Dr. Steampunk. I'm sorry.
Oh, a few years to go. We'll get there eventually.
Awesome.
That was
my homework assignment.
Watching the preview.
I'm sorry?
First, when she said curse chaser, the first thing I thought was like a bug hunter, which is shameful. Shame on me. But then I thought, of course she's a curse chaser. As a redhead, she has no soul.
Oh.
Yeah. That looks like a lot of fun.
It does.
I love the Weird West.
Yeah, so do I. As everybody knows, I'm into comic books, and that's a comic book. So, you were saying I interrupted you, Thax. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. That's cool. I thought it was really good, and I can see why you're interested.
Definitely. In fact, I'm probably gonna. I'll click on it now. I was like, I'll kickstart it now. I'm sorry. I'm doing it live. So no, no kidding. Oh, so that was my homework for the week. How about you, Thax? You got anything for us?
I did. I had a comic I was going to talk about. But as we were having a conversation here about Western steampunk, something I heard on the radio a few days ago, sort of popped into mind. So I thought I'd talk about that instead.
Okay, it's all good.
Because this is crazy. Let's see if I can link it real quick. Is this the button? Okay. There.
The link.
Check that out. Can you see it?
Yes, adding to stream. I posted a link to that Kickstarter, by the way, for anybody who's not watching us live or watching.
And if you're not watching live, I'll read the headline on MSN. Amazon is using union-busting Pinkerton spies to track down warehouse workers and labor movements at the company according to a new report.
Yep.
Now, that's something you do not get in old
The
London,
Pinkertons are still around?
steampunk.
Yes, they are.
Holy crap. I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they are. And they're still doing the same thing they have always done. Yeah.
The Pinkerton Detective Agency, which is basically a private investigator / thug / in this case, union busting spies. That's crazy. That is
but
mad.
unlike a lot of companies, they've never changed their name. Like Blackwater and all those mercenaries for hire went through different names. Pinkerton has never changed their name.
They don't care. They're proud.
They don't. They're thugs for hire and they don't care.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
Their
amazing.
involvement in a steelworker strike in 1892 led to states prohibiting the use of third-party security in labor disputes. Although, obviously, that does not apply to Eastern Europe where this is happening. But even so, Amazon uses union-busting tactics here, too, which is so kind of appropriate to the steampunk conversation. And, well, look at that. That's crazy.
That is insane.
It feels like something that shouldn't exist in 2020, but no, yeah, they've never gone away. They just rebrand and keep the name, but they're still doing the same thing they've always done. And they are, that really fits with the steampunk aesthetic. Really
The guy
does.
needs to be wearing a top hat.
Jeff Bezos needs a top hat.
Yeah, exactly.
He does. He's a Muppet villain.
You need a mustache to twirl.
I saw an interview with him. I just happened across it. It must have been, 30 years old, and he had hair. I was like, that doesn't even look like him.
Well, I had hair 30 years old.
Most people did at some point. Yeah. He's a cartoon villain, just like the rest. Yeah.
That is crazy. The Pinkertons are still around.
Yeah.
That is insane. And the thing is that I've seen at least 2 different television shows, Old West television shows that involve the Pinkertons. And of course, in the shows, they're the good guys,
Sure.
I lived in Hazleton, Pennsylvania for 8 years, where the Molly Maguire-ish situation took place in the late 19th century. And the Pinkertons, that was one of the situations that the Pinkertons broke up. The whole thing with the jail with the handprint on the wall. Where an innocent man was hanged. Yeah, it's the Pinkertons have been involved in a lot of really bad stuff. So I didn't know that they were still around either until it wasn't this case. It wasn't the Amazon thing, but they were involved in a situation in Colorado, I think a few months ago too. Yeah, they've been busy recently with all of the unrest this year. People are, they have been on the bad,
Wow.
Yeah.
And you said this was happening in Europe? Or what
that one was
happening?
That article was about.
So the Pinkertons are worldwide now, apparently.
Unionizing.
Yeah. They did something happened with them in Colorado. I think it was Colorado recently that they were involved in a situation where they ended up shooting. Something happened. I know because they popped up before the Amazon thing a few months ago. Yeah, and that's when everybody was like, "They're still around." Yeah, they're still around.
I'm still shocked. I don't know what to say. That is crazy, and they're still just as bad as they were back in the day when they were first formed. Wow,
doing the same thing. Yep.
So that wasn't much of a conversation, but God, we got to talk about that. That was
the Pinkertons. Yeah,
I guess I could still talk about my comic book.
Sure. We got time.
An episode or 2 ago. Flavio, you brought up a comic and talked about it, The Steam Man.
Oh yeah,
and it was on Dark Horse.
That was more than an episode or 2 ago. That was like last season or 2 seasons ago. That was a while.
No, it was just a few episodes ago.
The Steam Man.
Long enough ago that I could place an order and get it and read it.
Okay.
I'm not reviewing The Steam Man. What happened is I went to the Dark Horse website and looked up Steam. And right next to the Steam Man, I saw another comic called Steam.
Just Steam. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And
I have that one.
Cute. Written by Drew Ford, artist Dwayne Leslie. And so I went online and I bought it. And I bought it from eBay because I can get it cheaper there. And when I got it, it came in wrapping paper.
Oh, okay. So we got a Christmas present.
So,
Yeah, straight
so
up Steam. Okay, yeah. I
Oh,
have
yeah,
that one.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good all ages book. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a couple of little kids in it
Yeah.
and some adults. And I haven't read a comic in quite a while. So some of my issues with it might just be the fact that I'm not used to the comic book style of things. I love the art, particularly. It's a full color comic, and the art is it's steampunk, yet it's kind of got a Dr. Seuss kind of look to it, in that it's 3D, but its architecture is sort of blocky 2D. You know what I'm saying? Which is fun. I mean, that I like that a lot. The narration is very limited. Compared to like novels or television, there's not a lot of space to write long conversations,
right?
I guess. But that made the story feel kind of sparse and odd, and the character development sort of limited. And I don't know, it felt sort of a little bit goofy as far as plot and the way the story goes, but it was fun. I recommend it. It had a little bit of a Mary Sue plot line, in that the main character gets pulled through a portal from the real world to the steampunk world, but the writer doesn't use that character as a substitute for themselves to have this great adventure. The actual main character is sort of abused and put through kind of an unpleasant experience generally.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Yeah, if I remember, they found the steampunk world and it was being like exploited by a megacorp here in our world who found that world, and they're exploiting it for its resources.
Jeff
using
Bezos?
these portals to take all the resources from this other steampunk world and leave them barren and a wasteland.
And of course,
they don't explain too much about it, but I guess that's, you just kind of go with it.
Right. And of course, they save the day in the end for the most part.
Yeah.
Would you say it's a good introduction for kids? Maybe.
The steampunk? Sure. The capitalism?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still an all ages. It's an all ages comic, and it's not. There's a couple scary moments, maybe like where there's like kind of zombie-ish type creatures in there.
They weren't scary,
but they, I mean, for a really young kid, they might have been. I don't know. I don't know what kids consider scary these days.
Really?
I think kids can handle scary stuff often a lot better than adults do.
This is true. I think so. Yeah. Oh, hey, Jack has made a comment, so Jack is feeling a little bit better, and apparently, yes, the co-host is much prettier than you are, Jack. even though you are very, although you do have a fine beard and all, but
I haven't paid attention to the comments. I apologize. Let's get some shout outs. Rita, I'm glad you tuned in. I hope you're feeling well. Brian, hey, how you doing?
Yep. And apparently, yes, I have heard of the Girl Genius comics. I have not read them yet. I've heard of them.
They're amazing. They're so good.
I think part of the problem is I have this problem with me. I have to start from the beginning of anything, and there's so many of them out already.
There are, yeah.
That it's really difficult for me to go back to the beginning and start and try to catch up.
So good though. They sell. There's omnibus editions that you can buy though. I mean, but they're so. I think you'd like them. They're a lot of fun. It started off as a web comic, if I remember.
Yeah.
Yep. That's when I started reading it forever ago, back in 2000. I started reading it in 2007, 8. Yeah. I don't know.
And
Many years ago.
And yes, Jack has heard of Girl Genius. He loves Girl Genius.
Yeah. It's really good.
This is weird, Jack. Your face is not actually on the screen. Should I send you an invite?
No, because he's texting from the.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Phil Foglio, the artist, is someone I remember from the Myth Adventures series, and then from Buck Godot, which is sort of a space-based goofy thing. Haven't really gotten into Girl Genius, but I really loved Phil Foglio's work. That was a lot of fun.
I think I remember I read like maybe the first few issues of Girl Genius. I think there was a scene in there that I really like. If I'm not mistaken, it was Girl Genius, where there's these two bad guys, henchmen or whatever. It's like, they're chasing somebody down, and they're like, this is turning into one of those plans. It's like a plan where I lose my hat. It's like, no, the plan where we kill everybody.
It's so good.
That's stuck in my head. I love that quote. It's like, it's turning into one of those plans. And the guy's like, the plan where I lose my hat.
Yeah.
So I think that would be Girl Genius.
Making a brain joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they are. They're so good.
Oh man, yeah. So yeah, I do. From little I have read, I did like it. I did enjoy it, but like I said, there's just so much to catch up on, and I've got such a library of my own stuff that I'm still trying to catch up on. I'm sure it's in there somewhere, or it's in my list of to be read, but it's like it's in there somewhere. And if and when I ever get to it, because especially there's always more new stuff coming out that's just steampunk as well. Like right now, there's a whole lot of steampunk related comics that are coming out, and it's crazy. I'm really enjoying it. It's like a renaissance for steampunk comic books. Or steampunk related comic book. Like I said, I have two of them right here that I was going to talk about, but I'm going to save those for next time. One of them for next time, but as well as a few others I brought up.
Where do you find steampunk comic books as they're coming out?
Because I go to my local comic book shop.
I watch my favorite podcast and sort of,
the Texas Steampunk Connection will tell you where to find them, or I put a link for the my mind just went blank. Kickstarter, the Kickstarter. That's on. The link is in the show comments for anybody listening later on and not watching this live or watching the video. And I go to my local comic book shop. Luckily, they're still open even though there's a pandemic. We all wear our masks. We keep our distance from each other. They only let so many people into the store at a time. So we're trying to be as safe as possible.
Isn't that just the nature of comic book shops anyway?
Yeah, let's stay away from each other. Keep your distance.
Each other.
Right.
Don't make eye contact.
Right. This is true. Although my comic shop is pretty friendly and well lit, so they have never mind. They're very friendly. They're very, very friendly, and not in a creepy way. They have women working there too.
Glad you clarified it.
They have girls working there too.
Doesn't make it not creepy.
Oh well, they're very LGBTQ friendly and all that kind of stuff, as well. So, and they have their own podcast. It's a Rogues Cast. They tell you what comes out that comics available for the week and store news and all that kind of stuff, as well as geek news. Hey, I plugged them, and they'll probably never plug me. It's okay.
Oh,
that's okay.
Oh no.
Anyway, what else? We have a few more minutes. We have like another 10, 15 minutes. Well, 10 minutes. I'm going to say we have about another 10 minutes to kill here. What should we talk about next? You have something you want to introduce as a steampunk thing for our people, for our listeners, Miss Agent Stocking. You said you were watching, what show were you watching before I interrupted you?
When you sent me a panic text at
yeah.
at 7:37 saying, I was watching His Dark Materials. Yes. I watched the first season, but I wanted to rewatch the first season. I didn't realize that the second season had started because school and homework. So all of a sudden I was 3 episodes behind.
In fact, I have the latest episode on my DVR as we talk.
Yeah. So I'm finishing. I was about halfway through the final episode of the first season when I got your text.
Sorry, you can blame Jack.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all good. I've got it on HBO Max on Hulu, so it's
Perfect.
not like I can't just run right back out and watch it. But yeah, I could never get into the books for some reason. Not that they were fine, they weren't badly written or they didn't pull me in, but the show just sucked me in.
I've been enjoying it a lot as well.
Yeah, I love it. It's just.
Well, I haven't read any or watched any of it. So, what are you talking about?
His Dark Materials.
His Dark Materials. It's a series by Philip Pullman. It started with The Golden Compass, and I think the second one was The Amber Knife. I can't remember.
The Golden Compass was a movie that came out, right?
It was a movie with Nicole Kidman years ago. It was the first attempt to adapt it, but it wasn't great. So what they did with the series on HBO, they've taken all of the first and the second book, as far as I know, and kind of combined the storylines. And
I never read the books either, okay.
Because the boy, spoilers, the boy, as far as I know, that is in the boy on our side of the war, or the mirror. Okay, he is in the second book. Oh. His story is part of the second book. So as far as I know, and I don't know for sure because I haven't read them all, they've combined they've made parallel storylines in the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's prominent in the second season so far. He's in there.
Yeah. Okay. So it's just the airships and the armored bears.
Oh yeah, the armored bears are so cool.
The armored bears are so. It's essentially as an allegory for Christianity moving through the pagan world. That's what the series is about.
Okay.
It's an allegory for Christianity coming and running. That's why the bears are Vikings.
That makes sense.
That's what that is. And it's the rise of Catholicism. That's essentially where it comes from. But it's just.
I know a lot of bears that look like Vikings.
Dude, the bears are so cool. The bears are so cool. They've got armor and they're badass.
I don't think those are the bears Dax was mentioning or talking about. But
Nope.
Shout out to all the bears who are listening. We love you guys.
But I do highly recommend it. If you like, it's diesel punk. It's not really steampunk.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm cool with diesel punk crossing over.
Yeah.
There is a diesel punk podcast that I listen to on occasion. It's just called the Diesel Punk Podcast.
That's easy enough.
And he does similar stuff. He talks about they talk about what's new in diesel punk. Any new comic, anything new coming out that's diesel punk, and similar to the same conversation we're having, but diesel punk. But he's not too fond of steampunk. So, although he has one guy that's guest with him on occasion that says he lives in the Dallas area, who used to be a steampunker. I don't recognize the name, so I don't know who it is. Maybe we ran into him in Steampunk November. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of area.
I may or may not message them as a Texas Steampunk Connection and see if they're interested in having a conversation with us. But that's for later on. And next time Jack needs to drop out. Sorry, Jack. I know you're listening.
No, I'm accepting of all the punks. They're all good. It's all
I am too. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually fond of Ray Punk a lot, and also to me, Pulp Fiction the pulps kind of to me somehow blend in as well, because it's kind of diesel punkish. The Pulp Fictions kind of blend into diesel punk.
Yeah,
and so I really like the Pulp Fictions, the comic books and TV shows and whatnot that are out there.
I like that movie. Pulp Fiction. I thought that was good.
It's not quite the same, but sure, it's a good movie.
Oh no, it's all right.
Yeah, that kind of rolls into Atom Punk. The Pulp Fiction rolls into out of the diesel and into the Atom Punk. There's too many punks, but
yeah, so many punks. That's why Story Punk's podcast was pretty cool.
I know.
Because she introduced all the punks. I mean, she introduced what was it? It was Eco Punk. She talked about Eco Punk, which I never heard of, but there it is. Eco Punk.
Yeah, and Solar Punk. And actually, a woman in my cohort, one of my friends that is helping me get through the program, she has gotten very interested in Hope Punk.
Okay, what is Hope Punk?
Positive stories that they're a little different, but they're stories that have a positive edge to it, that have hope. And it's especially Hope Punk. Yeah.
Okay, so you kept saying positive. I'm thinking like sex positive.
Hope.
It's Hopunk?
Hope. Hope. H-O-P-E. Hope.
I'm not trying to be funny now. I did not
It was
understand.
funny.
There's a lot.
Punk is also something completely different.
That is another podcast. That is
I can get into
Steampunk After
Hopunk.
Dark. There's a lot of punks out there. So yeah, it just depends on what you're looking for, you know.
No, Jack. The bear did not sound like Patrick Stewart. I'm sorry.
More of a Sean Connery bear.
Oh no, Jackson is whole punk.
Woo!
Wow. Okay. So yeah. His Dark Materials. Yeah. I mean, I forgot that we never talked about it when it first came out here on this podcast because it does kind of fall into steampunk or diesel punk. And it's already on the second season.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very enjoyable show. It's on HBO. You can get on the HBO Max now.
Yep.
Yeah, because there used to be like HBO Now and HBO. There was other. They're no longer available. It's just HBO Max.
HBO Max. Yeah, we get it through Hulu. But the little girl that stars in it, she's
good.
She's so good. She is unbelievable. Just I don't know the amount of. She's very good little actress for her age, and the kid that plays her friend Roger, his cheeks just kill me. He's so cute. So it's
one of the things that kind of at first I didn't understand that they call their animal companions demons.
Yeah.
And and it bothered me. It's like demons is not a good name, but then the guy from our world or from the similar world to ours in this second season, I think he mentions that it's like demon doesn't mean what you think it means in our world. It's a bad thing in our world. So. But
for the ancient Greeks, that spelling, the D-A-E-M-O-N, demon didn't mean what it was turned into. It was just spirits.
Right, but when you're just saying demon, you don't know how it's being spelled when you're saying it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like, I'm kind of glad that he pointed that out. It's like it doesn't mean. I mean, it means something different in our world. It's not so good. So I mean, I'm glad he pointed that out because that was something in my head. It's like, why do they call it demons? That's not a good name. That's not a good name.
Yeah.
But they explained it. It's just like they pointed that out. So I'm okay now. It's okay.
It's just a different meaning for the soul or for a spirit. But yeah, I love the demons. They're so especially the jackrabbit.
Yeah.
Esther.
Yeah. I like
the Sky Pirates. Jack. Yeah. I love it.
He's cool. I like him. He's a good character himself as well. I like him a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
With his really sky balloon kind of thing. It's pretty fun.
The aeronaut. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I have 4 of them here with me right now. The cats. In fact, actually, while I was sharing the video, I don't know if you can only see the video that I was showing, right? Or were you able to see me as well? Okay. That's when my cat decided to walk in front of the camera when you couldn't see her.
I saw it.
Aww.
You saw her? Okay.
Yeah, we can see it in a little
in the little corner? Okay.
Yeah. Aww.
Oh, I like the fact that the demons, it's kind of, it's noticeable. It took me a little while to notice, but they're opposite voice sex or sex voice. Like, a female has a male and the male has a female voice. Too.
Everybody, I thought that was just me at first, but all the female, they're opposite sex demons, and I started trying to pay attention to see if anybody has a demon that's the same sex as themselves.
I haven't found any.
So far, no. But I mean, some of them I was confused on, like the Mrs. Coulter's monkey never speaks.
That's true. It doesn't.
So I had to look it up. It is a male monkey. Yeah.
And some of the ones with snakes or whatever, they don't really speak either. The snakes don't talk much.
No, I don't like the snakes.
It's kind of, they do kind of the demons kind of represent how they are. I mean, so if it's their soul representation, if they're not very good people, their demons look like a snake or something bad, something mean. So yeah. So it's a giveaway. It's like, you're not a nice person. You have a snake.
No.
Hold on now. I don't think snakes are bad. Monkeys though. Monkeys are bad.
That monkey is not a
that monkey is
monkey.
Nasty.
Yeah, it's not a nice monkey. There's
a relationship going on there that has never been explained because I looked it up because I was really confused. It's a snub-nosed golden monkey. It's
it's not a good monkey at all.
It's weird.
So once again, His Dark Materials on HBO, highly recommend. It's really good. It's a steampunk / diesel punk, perfect fit.
It's just cool.
If you ever seen the Golden Compass, the bears are just as cool.
Yes.
The movie itself wasn't that great, but the bears were cool. And
Bears are
the
badass.
bears in the show are badass. There's more than one in the bear in the show. So. Oh, what's that? What Matt? Blue Stocking should be glad nobody has spider or roach demons. Who's Matt? Do we know Matt?
That's probably my husband.
Oh, okay.
And he thinks he's funny.
Oh, so we have a new listener thanks to our Blue Stocking.
Shout out to Mr. Stocking.
Oh, well, look at it. Hey, look at that. We've been at it for an hour already. How about that? I guess it's time we should wrap it up. So once again, thank you very much for joining us, Blue Stocking, at the very last minute.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm so happy you're able to join us. Feel free to join us anytime you want. If you have anything you want to plug or talk about, go ahead and tell us now. Do you have anything to plug? Nothing to talk about?
No,
nothing to plug. No worries.
My out-of-date podcast.
Yeah. Yes, the Steampunk Dollhouse is still out there and available. If you want to hear a critical analysis of steampunk books, this is a great podcast to listen to. As well as, soon enough, she will be a doctor. We will call her Dr. Blue Stocking.
Yeah. That is how they will announce me at graduation.
Do you have a master's degree?
I do. My master's degree is in library science.
Okay, so you're a master Blue Stocking. There you go.
Apparently after I got my master's degree, my brother started telling everyone that his sister is a master librarian. So
nice. You leveled up in the world.
I did.
Awesome. Once again, if you want to talk to us, if you want to have any comments, questions, any information you want to pass on to us, you can find us at facebook.com at Texas Steampunk Connection. That's where you leave your comments, your questions, your remarks, anything like that. Any criticisms, go ahead and send them to sorry, I make myself laugh when I think about this. Just send it to Twitter if you have any critics or critical critiques in Twitter, because I'm not going to understand it or maybe even find it. Thanks once again. Thank you very much. We have 5 people watching live. I think that's been a while since we had that many. Hey, Thax, I think we might have to replace Jack with a woman, because every time we have a woman on, we have a lot more people watching.
Maybe we could just get Jack to dress different.
Okay, yeah, put a wig on. Anyway, what do you ask? We're looking at you, Jack. Anyway, once again, I get the Kickstarter I put on there. The link to it is in the comments under this feed. So if you want to join that Kickstarter, please do. There's 7 days left. Yes, we have Steam, which was the all ages graphic novel. It's really good. And we have, of course, it was His Dark Materials. That's our homework for the week. So once again, thank you very much. And until next time, mind your gauges.